y'all? Welcome back to the Let's Grow podcast. I'm your host, Lex Lux, and I have another amazing guest on today. We're getting into another Cultivate Conversations with one of my panelists for this year's Cultivate Conference. I'm going to let her introduce herself. We have the amazing Rhania Carter.
Hi everyone. I'm so excited about being here today. My name is Rhania Carter. I'm an attorney. I'm an entrepreneur. So I also have like a notary business. I have an ebook where I teach aspiring business owners and current business owners how to properly structure their business, how to obtain business credit, business funding. I'm also like a financial influencer. I just like informing people and educating people and just making sure that I can be a resource to the community and just add value in any way that I can.
Definitely. So, you can kind of understand why we chose her to be on this year's panel. She is a wealth of knowledge in one person. And I really want to talk about what was your experience like last year, and then we'll go more into like your journey into this year in this panel.
Okay, so I did attend the Cultivate Conference last year. Going in, I didn't really know much about it, didn't really know what to expect. I only knew like through social media. So I was like, okay, this seemed like something positive, something like, that I would want to attend. So me and my cousin, we both went together. And I feel like I just felt so much positivity in the room, so much like the energy, you could feel it in the room. I feel like the women that spoke on the panel, they were so well spoken, so they had so much wisdom that they shared with us. And I feel like, everybody had like a unique perspective and a unique story, and it was just very inspiring, I would say, to be there and be in that room with all of those women.
Yeah. And see, the crazy thing is like, I pray about the panelists and who I want to invite. And before we even did last year's panel, God had kind of like highlighted you to me. And he was like, start following, start paying attention. And originally, I was like, oh, okay, cool. I know she's going to be a panelist. And then when I got the theme, I was like, this year. Okay, cool, cool, cool.
Yeah, but I feel like I'm in a different space this year than I was last year. So I think, everything aligned the way it's supposed to align, everything happened the way it was supposed to happen.
Mhm.
So yeah, I'm very excited to be a part of it this year.
Definitely God's timing. He knew. He knew because I didn't expect this to be like the theme is embracing transformation, right? I didn't expect that to be the theme, but then when I realized it was the theme, I was like, that means you about to make me go through a transformation, huh? And I had to walk that out on last year, and I was like, ugh, this is uncomfortable. But I'm glad that I had to go through it because now I have more language for what I want to talk about and what we want to discuss this year for conference. So let's go ahead and get into the questions. Now, you are an attorney. Tell us about your journey and what inspired you to pursue a career in law.
So I would say like as a young child, I just had a natural kind of inclination towards like legal related shows on TV because I used to watch a lot of TV. So I was always watching like Law and Order, like little court shows and stuff like that. And I was just so into Law and Order that initially I thought I wanted to be a detective. Until I realized I'm like, oh no, this is someone like a cop. I don't want to be, I don't want to be like this deep into it. But when I started like just googling like how to become an attorney like at like in middle school, like, it was just like college, law school. And I'm like, okay, I can do this. Like, and I just had that in my mind at a very young age that was what I wanted to do. And I kind of like planned out the number of years that it was going to take for me to like finish college and then finish law school. And like, I was like, okay, I'm going to finish law school at the age of 24 and I'm going to be an attorney at 25. And like, once I see things in my mind first, and like once I see something in my mind and I can't get it out, like I just gotta go for it. I gotta make it happen. So I think that's kind of what brought me here today.
Yeah, so we love that because I was a Law and Order SVU criminal minds girly myself, and I wanted to be a behavioral analyst. And then I realized that I was gonna have to go through all that and go to Quantico, and I was like, well, I'll just be a therapist. It's fine. And that's kind of how I found my way into social work and therapy and all that too. So I can
Yeah.
definitely relate to that. And I love that you stuck with it because I know sometimes a life can discourage us from pursuing what we want to pursue. And sometimes it looks like it's so far ahead, and you're like, I don't know how I'm gonna do that. I can't afford to do that. But you were like, no, I'm gonna do
Yeah,
this research. I'm gonna look into it, and then I'm gonna just
yeah.
walk this out step by step.
I had somebody tell me, I was still at LSU at the time, like trying to finish my undergrad degree. And I had somebody tell me that, oh, you're going to be in school forever. And I'm like, okay. And like, and when I finish, I'm going to be a lawyer. Like, I'm going
Right.
to grow old anyway. So why not, do it now while I'm young? Get it out the way. I'm just always thinking for the future. So, yeah.
No, that's real because I think when we're younger, we look at it like, wait, I gotta go all the way through high school, then I have to go to undergrad, and then I gotta go back again. That
Mhm.
sounds like forever. But now that I'm older, that time doesn't feel like that. It feels like I did grad school in a year. So what was one more year next to all these other years that I had to go through in high school and college? So I love that you stuck with it and you was like, I'm not letting anybody get in the way of this. This is not them. This is me. I know with every being in my bone that I'm
Mhm.
supposed to be doing this. And I love that you stuck with it. So when I think of law and legal systems and all of that, I often think of legacy because it always, it always comes down to some type of law and legal proceeding when it comes to legacy. Like, yes, there's legacy mentally, spiritually, emotionally, but there's also legacy in resources and in wealth and in knowledge and in what we do on this earth while we're here. So, legacy is one of the pillars of the Cultivate Conference. So, any Cultivate Conference that you attend, you're going to hear us talk about legacy. I want to know, what do you think about the word legacy? What does it mean to you personally, but also what does it mean to you professionally?
So I think legacy is just like the imprint that you leave on the world. Like when you're no longer here, those are the things that people like have in memory of you. And that could be a lot of different things. Like for me, I don't have children right now. I do want some in the future. And of course I believe family is a big part of legacy. But even now with no children, I have a young nephew. He's 1 year old. I consider him a part of my legacy. My sisters, I have younger sisters. I'm the oldest of my sisters. And when I was purchasing a home, I wanted to purchase a home with my sisters, because I'm like, it's bigger than just me. I want them to also have something that they can call their own, and this is something that we have together. And if we kind of like go our separate ways, we can sell a home, rent it out, like but it's still our piece of generational wealth that we can pass on. That's just kind of always on the forefront of my mind. Professionally and legally, legal law has a hand in legacy. I'll say that because I feel like where oftentimes people make mistakes is that they don't establish the legal side of their business and their affairs. And when things go wrong, it's just kind of like a tornado of different, it's just, but I think having things set up in the proper legal way can avoid some of that chaos down the line. And a lot of legacies and things that people like die with at the point when they, pass away, if they don't have that legal paperwork in place, it's just kind of like what's your legacy now? Your children kind of fighting over what's what, and it just leads to a lot of problems if people don't have that legal side established.
Right. It sounds like it needs to be protected. You need to protect your legacy through legal proceedings, right?
Yes, definitely.
I definitely think that's important. And I don't think that we in our community as black people, I don't think that we emphasize that enough. I don't think we
Definitely.
handle our business on that side.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I 100% agree. I see it a lot since I've become an attorney, and people reach out to me all the time, like just with different questions. And I think people don't realize how much law is embedded in pretty much every aspect of society, but especially when it comes down to a legacy. Like people have reached out to me after their parents pass away, and like they're trying to figure out what to do next because my sister, she works at a bank, and she'll see people come to the bank like, oh yeah, my mom just died, I need to try to get this money out her account. And as the bank teller, she's like, I can't just give you access to this account just because that was your mama. Like, y'all need to go and have a succession. And that's how, you gain access to the things that this person had before they passed away. And they just think somebody died. Oh, okay, yeah, I'm about to go get their stuff because this was my mom or this was my grandmother. That's not how that works. And I think we just don't know because we're not educated.
Right. Okay, so what are some of the biggest mistakes that you see people make when it comes to securing their legacy, and how can they avoid those mistakes?
Okay, so number one, I would say life insurance. And I just recently got a life insurance policy like a year or two ago. And it was just a regular life insurance policy. I had a limit of like $300,000. I'm like, okay, cool, this is enough for me. And then as of recently, I befriended he's a Vietnamese man. Like that my mama like met from going to the nail shop and everything. And if you know the Vietnamese people, you know that they about their money.
Hmm.
So he's a millionaire. He is big on financial education and everything too. So he's been a great resource for me, and really expanding my financial future and secure my financial future. So he told me yes, that's fine that you have a regular life insurance policy, but what you really need is an index universal life insurance policy. And I'm an attorney, and I had never even heard of this. And he's like, he basically explained to me that it's a life insurance policy, but then it's also an index fund. So you're contributing every month. Some of the money is going towards your life insurance policy, but then I'm also contributing to this index fund that's growing every year. So in every 10 years, that money is guaranteed to double. And so he told me by the time you're in your 50s, if you keep contributing to this account, you will be sitting on $1 million because the money is just growing and compounding every year. And I didn't know this, but it's good to expand your mind and get around other people and other cultures and people that know more than you and have more than you. So that's one of the biggest things I would say. Life insurance. Also, having a will in place is very important. But even if you die without a will, your family needs to know the legal steps as far as opening a succession, because that's a big step that a lot of people miss too. So I think those are like the biggest mistakes that I see people make.
Now, you pointed out something. You said you met somebody through your mom, you were able to connect with them, and they're educating you on how to do what you're already doing even better. What I love about that is that highlights the importance of community. And this year on the Cultivate Conference panels, we're going to be talking about community a lot.
Yes.
What would you say your community, like what role did your community play in your transformation?
So I would say my community is in the process of transforming as we speak.
I love that.
It's just constantly like changing. Like as I grow through different phases of my life. So I would say like a couple years ago, like it was just me, my family, and like a couple friends, and I kind of just kept a close knit circle, and that was it. But now I'm in a new city, and I'm kind of not as close to my family in proximity as I once was. I have to like drive like an hour and 30 minutes to get to my family. So I have to open the door to new people and new resources and like a different community. So now, aside from the Vietnamese guy that I just mentioned, my boss that I work for, she's a federal judge, and she's a big part of my community here in New. She's connected me with a lot of different, people in not only the legal field, but just other women that, just can pour into me. And she's kind of like a second mother figure to me. So I'm glad I have her. And then I would say like you are becoming like a part of my community.
I would do like the little heart, but my nail broke, so
Yeah, because I think you're so positive, and the few times that I have been around you, it's always been a positive experience, and I feel like I've left with something, just from being in your presence. So I do appreciate that a lot. Just my people in my legal community, like my classmates that I've went to law school with, I kind of stay close to them. We go get lunch all the time because we all work in New Orleans, and we're down here in the city together. So yeah, I think I just lean on them a lot for emotional support, professional guidance, and yeah, you need that. It's definitely important.
love that. And look, I'm not in New Orleans, but I'm close. So if you need, look, I ain't gonna lie, I work in Baton Rouge, so lunch kind of off the table, but dinner, we might be able to talk on a dinner.
Yeah.
I got you. I love that because that's really important, and that is why community is one of the pillars of the Cultivate Conference. Because I don't think that women understand the importance of community. I think that we've gotten away from it when we were younger. Community was everything, right? Like our parents raised us with their siblings and their friends, and it was always a big thing. Like everybody got the kids together. And I think over time, especially after 2020, we have gotten away from this community foundation of life, right?
Hmm.
So I'm really happy to hear that it is actively transforming because that tells me that when you speak about it in April at the Cultivate Conference, you're going to have a little bit more to say.
Yeah.
I'm excited. So what I did realize though, I didn't ask you about what do you feel like was your greatest transformation?
My mental health. And I think I saw that transform during my time in law school and after law school. And I think I kind of didn't realize the change that was happening to me while I was going through it, And I think I was grappling a lot between who I was and who I was becoming. So I was kind of just stuck in the middle. And it was just like a lot of resistance in my mind because I'm like, I still want to go out. I still want to like wear this and do this. And like, because I mean, I was like a hot girl. That's what I wanted to do. That's what I wanted to be. And it's like, it's hard to be a hot girl and a lawyer at the same time. Because I feel like it's just certain like expectations, like the expectations for you are up here now, you know. So I can't go out and just, move like anybody. I have to be like, especially like out in public and on social media and things like that. But during my time in law school it was really hard. I didn't know who I was. Um, I think I just had like a lot of mental conflict within myself. And it was like a lot of unresolved issues, of course, from my childhood, from my past that I had to heal from, that I was in the process of healing from. And then you put the weight and the stress that comes along with being in law school on top of that. I just kind of had like a breakdown. And that happened during like my second year of law school. And my mom, she was there for me through everything. But I remember like one thing that she said that stuck with me. She was like, everything you're going through now is preparing you for where you're about to go. And I didn't realize it at the time, but after that, this was in my second year of law school. So after I finished my third year of law school, I graduated. Then I had to sit for the bar, which was even more of a mental strain on me. But I found that when I went through that process of studying for the bar and sitting for the bar, I had a sense of peace because I what I went through that forced me to like get closer to God and like really lean on him and put my problems on him. That forced me to meditate and yoga, things like that, just to kind of keep my mental health. It made me prioritize my mental health more. I
Right.
would say that, and I think all of that just put me in a place of it just kind of builds your endurance. Like, I'm like, okay, like I'm ready for this. Like, I done been through hell and back, I done had the mental breakdown. I'm not going back to that place anymore. So I just went through it and, I passed the bar. I went through that. And then even in like my first year as an attorney, I'm still trying to learn the ropes. I'm still trying to figure out, who I am as a lawyer. Because I feel like law school don't really teach you how to be a lawyer. Because once you're in it, you're in it.
Right.
And so that was also kind of like a big transformational period for me. I had my first job in Baton Rouge. I left there in 2023. So now I'm here at my current job here in New Orleans. And now I have to think about where I'm going next. Where's God going to take me after this job? And it's just been like every day is just kind of, I feel like I'm a new person. I'm just learning more and growing more and, just enjoying the journey.
What I love about what you said was that you felt like you were battling with who you used to be and who you were becoming. And I think that that is so pivotal for women to kind of make change and experience transformation. Like when it's time for us to change, we feel it even if we fight it, right? Like, all right, I feel like this season is going to require more of me. I feel like this season is going to require a different version of me, whatever that may look like. But sometimes we fight it a little bit. But I love that you said ultimately the entire experience brought you closer to God, to where you were able to learn to like hear his voice and see like, all right, where are you taking me? What are you preparing me for? And what about this season is changing me, the person, right? Like a lot of things will change. Jobs will change, locations will change, but like you are focusing in on your change, your identity change.
Yes.
And I love that. I
Yes. Thank
absolutely love that.
you. Thank you.
So, what I've been hearing, and if you've been listening to all the episodes, then you know it seems like every panelist is walking out their own transformation. Like, nobody has arrived where they feel like they've been transformed and they're a totally different person. And I think that's incredibly important to highlight that transformation is ever going. There is no end when it comes to changing and evolving into the person that God has called us to be. So if you are listening to this, then I want you to remember that. Remember that change is inevitable and change is always going to happen, but it's important to embrace it rather than fight it, right?
Amen.
Okay, let's talk about let me think, how do I want to word this? As a lawyer, but I would also say a leader because I do consider you someone with a lot of influence. Has there been any moments where you had to make a bold decision that aligned with your faith? And how did you go about making those decisions? Because I know sometimes we be fighting with the faith and the fear.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to make important decisions, right?
Yeah.
So, how do you go about that?
So one thing that jumps to the front of my mind, when I was in law school, I was offered an externship with the judge that I work for currently. But at the time, I think I was in my third year of law school, and the job was unpaid. So mind you, it's in New Orleans. So I was like going to have to drive from Baton Rouge to New Orleans like 2 or 3 days out of the week for free, basically. And one of my professors at the time, he told me like to not even take the job. But I was talking to my mom about it, and I'm telling her like, look, this is a federal. Number one, this is a federal judge. You know, those positions don't come around too often, and they definitely don't come to us too often. So that's number one. And then number two, this judge in particular, she is the first black woman to get appointed to a federal court in Louisiana. So just the historical impact behind who she was. I was like, I don't think this is something that I should pass up on just because it might be an inconvenience. Driving back and forth. I mean, I recall my mom talking to me, and she's like, God don't make mistakes. He's putting you in connection with this woman for a reason. So I just kind of, against the advice of, my professor at the time, I took the position. And I'm going down there, like, driving, making that drive and stuff. And it was hard, but my mom, like, look, I'll give you gas money. I'll, make sure you're good on that point. And I just did it. And I went in and I made a good impression. I put my best foot forward every day, and people were taking notice of like my work product and everything. And I think everything just kind of trickled on up to the judge at the time, and she pulled me to the side and she's like, "I think you're a star." And I was just like, "Oh my god!" But she's like, "I want you to come back after you finish and become as a law clerk." So that's the position that I have now after I came back. Initially, I was only supposed to be a law clerk for a year. And then she asked me, now I'm staying for 4 years because she doesn't want me to leave, like, so early. So it was extended to 4 years. And I think she's just become like a lifelong friend and mentor now. And I'm just so blessed that I kind of listened to my mom and what God was telling me to do versus man and what made sense logically.
Yeah.
And I think that was kind of like a big decision that I had to make for myself. And I'm glad that I did make the right decision.
Love that. Because let's talk about legacy. The historical impact, man, God really don't make mistakes. And we could sit on that all day, but I'm not gonna hold you too long. But I think that that's incredibly important to take notice of because number one, for you to even have the faith and the boldness to make that decision, do it, go there, operate in excellence, so much so that she pulls you to the side and she says, I think that you're a star. Like, that is amazing. And I'm excited to see what you all will do together. But also, I think that your experience with her is going to change the trajectory of your career
Yes.
exponentially because if you're learning from the best, it can only get better, right? Like, that's amazing. And
Yes.
shout out to you. I know I'm late, but congrats.
Thank you, girl.
I wanted to say too, like I can definitely relate to that because when I was in grad school, I went to LSU for grad school and the program that I did, we have 2 days in class and then 2 days, 2 to 3 days at an internship. There was
Hmm.
only a handful of them that were paid, and the one that I wanted because it aligned with what I felt like I had vision for my future was all the way in Chalmette.
Mm.
But here's the thing. My dad lives in Slidell. So it's nothing, well, it is something. But what my decision was, I was like, I'm going to apply for it because no, I know not a lot of people are willing to do that. And it's paid.
Hmm.
It's not like I would have to do it for free.
Hmm.
So I applied for it. I got it. Had favor. I would stay with my mom and commute to LSU for 2 days. And then on that second day, I would leave LSU, go to my dad's house, stay there for the rest of the week to go to Chalmette for the internship. So I understand that drive, and it ain't no
Yeah.
joke.
It's a sacrifice. It's a
It's a
sacrifice.
sacrifice.
But my mom had to remind me, she was like, you're bettering yourself, and that's what it's all about, just bettering yourself.
100%, because that experience was everything that I needed going forward in like my career. I'm with you on it. I can definitely relate, and shout out to you for doing it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so you're going to be speaking on the Activating Transformation panel because we'll have two this year. So you'll be speaking on the second panel, and we're going to be talking about how to activate change in our lives, right? How do you believe that legal knowledge activates change in our people's lives so that they can step into their next season?
I just think knowledge and educating yourself is the biggest thing. Like, and I think when you know better, you do better.
Hmm.
So, like, that's step one is just learning what it is to, like, like I said, have your assets properly aligned as far as like a will or power of attorney is also a big thing that I feel like a lot of people neglect. So stuff like that, and it's, I think people just don't know. And once you know and you realize, I think that's the first step to really like making those changes and transforming your life as an individual, as a business owner, both ways.
Definitely. Okay. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to hear what y'all have to say. Not only that, I am going to actively participate in the panel this year. I know I do a good job at hiding and hosting, right? I be hosting and I be hiding, running away from them questions, but I'm going to do it this year. I'm going to step out and I'm going to participate in both panels. So I'm
Good
looking
for you.
forward to it. I know it's going to be great. I know that y'all are going to share so much wisdom, so much knowledge, and I know that there's going to be somebody in that crowd that wants to hear what you have to say. Just like that federal judge is like a photo of influence for you, I think that you are a photo of influence for so many people coming after you because you show them that it's possible to do these things and that you don't have to wait your entire life to be successful. You can be successful now. You can make those changes now. And you can legally protect your legacy. We're going to have to do more about that. We might have to have another episode where we talk about it a little bit more in detail because even me, I think I can grow in my knowledge and how
Hmm.
to protect my legacy as well. But in the meantime, I know we're talking about conference. What are you most excited for this year?
Always excited for making new connections. I am most excited for the panel discussion and just feeding off of the other ladies. Some people are returning, from the last Cultivate Conference, so I'm looking forward to, of course, seeing them again, hearing from them again, because a lot changes in a year, and I think we kind of take that for granted sometimes. That time is just flying. I think I'm just was Also looking forward to just being around so many motivational women, so many inspirational women. My mom, she's gonna be there as a vendor, so I pay her vendor fee. I was like, Mom, look, I want you to come,
Hmm.
so I'll pay the vendor fee for you. Just come there and like spread the word about your products, make you some money, and
Absolutely.
So I'm excited for her to be there and to witness this moment and also be in that room with me, be a part of it also. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it.
I love that. And y'all heard what she said, right? She invited her mom. I need y'all to understand that this is not just an event for business owners. This is an event for every woman. Every woman. That is mom, daughter, auntie, sister, niece, best friend, small group. Bring your people. Bring your people, okay? So, if you are coming in support of Rhania, I want you to use code Rhania when you check out and get your ticket. That's Rhania. When you get your ticket, you can save $5 and just come support my girl. Come hear what she got to say. If you have any feedback for us, let us know what inspired you the most about this conversation or what you want us to talk about when we do our legal conversation. Drop it in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, support. You can keep up with me at lex.lux underscore on Instagram. You can get your Cultivate Conference ticket at bossesblog.com. If you are interested in sponsoring, you can contact me. And let's see how we can keep up with Miss Renia. How can we keep up with you?
So y'all can follow me on Instagram at Snook SNOOK 4 underscores. So my second name is like RDCESQ. So just look for that. I'm mostly on Instagram, also on Facebook, Rhania Carter, RHANIA Carter. And yeah, that's pretty much the two main platforms that I'm on.
Yes, support my girl. Come to conference, support us. We are looking forward to it. We are excited. And I just want to say thank you for coming and hang out with us, answering a few questions, letting them know more about you. See you in a few weeks.
Thank you for having me. I'm looking forward to everything. I'm just so happy that you're doing this. I'm so blessed to be a part of this. And I'm just so excited for it.
Thank you. Me too. All right, y'all. So stay tuned. Thank y'all so much. Like I said, like, comment, subscribe, do all the things, and share this with a friend. Thank you for listening to the Let's Grow podcast.
Bye.